right, so the thing about some of these older cars is that a lot of these custom parts, the things that are like rubber boots and little caps and things like that, they're really hard to source after the car is no longer in circulation. This is a 1979 Super Beetle. Recently, we just replaced the alternator, and we need to have we need to replace what would have been a rubber boot over the top of this positive wire. This is the main charging cable that charges the battery. This red wire goes straight to the battery post, the positive battery post. So you can imagine if you were to ground this, it would short. I mean, it would be a fire, it would be a problem. So you can see a really large, sort of a hard plastic insulator right here. This is going to be what we're going to need to insulate against. And then on this side here, there used to be a boot on here, and I went ahead and just used some shrink wrap. But as you can see at the bottom down here, they have a little connector that has a rib right here. So it's intended to have a boot on that as well. So what I'm going to do today, I'm going to demonstrate on the video today, is how to make replacement boots for electrical components using a 3D printer. And so let's go ahead and get started. So the first thing you need to do is start with a mock-up of about what it is that you want to do. And here in this case, this is the red wires boot. It has a flat connector around the base. And I have a little ridge here so that when we put a zip tie on there, it won't slide downwards. And so you need to know what size the nuts are, the inside diameter of those nuts. You need to know what the diameter of that little rubber casting is, because that's what we're going to connect to. You need to know how long you're going to go, and then we're going to also put a zip tie on this side as well. So if you look at it, this is just kind of a cross section. These are all cylindrical shapes, and we're going to make an extrusion on that, and then we'll print them out. Now, if you're wondering how we're going to get the wire through there, I'm actually going to print this with a slot open on this side right here. There'll be a slot, and so when you connect it, you'll be able to slide the wire in there. It'll clip on, and then you put a couple of zip ties on, and it'll close it, and it won't come open. Same thing on this one. You can see I've kind of over-exaggerated the little ribs where that little rib goes. Again, right down here, you can see there's a ridge that it wants to have a boot that clips down in there. So we're going to make the boot go around that and clip into this ridge. And that's what this ridge is to tell us to do. We're going to make the measurement, and we're going to make it so that it fits in here. Again, this is just kind of a cross section of what that will look like. How high we're going to go, and then how far we're going to go right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take these measurements, and then we'll get on to Onshape, which is the 3D modeling software that I use for making my 3D parts. Let's go ahead and measure this up. All right, so there you go. I got all my measurements in millimeters. We're not doing any decimal points or anything. We're just going to go straight millimeters, and everything will be flexible. We're using PETG, which is a heat-resistant molding that once you form it, it'll be able to handle the engine temperatures just fine. So let's go ahead and get these onto Onshape and do some 3D modeling. All right, so here I am in Onshape, and here's my growing collection of custom car parts that I've created. Here's the first of the electrical boots. You can see this is the red one. It has a little bit taller stack at the top. I put a fillet on the top up here. Let me see if I can get this in here. You can see we put a little slit in the little groove right here so that it'll be easy to take on and take off, and yet it'll still be a really good shroud to keep any kind of electrical short from happening on that red wire. All right, so let's get this into the 3D printer while I start doing the mock-up on the second boot, which is the smaller one of the two. All right, so there you have it. There's the 3D printed cap that we're going to put on top of this stud right here. Now, if you, all right, so you can see they took the measurements. Everything measures up right. The top goes to the top. It doesn't hang too high up. And this little T comes off right where that is. If you slide this baby right on there, See, it's got a slot right there. You slide that on, and there you go. That's the end deal. So that is how to 3D print a electrical cap on your 1979 Super Beetle alternator, or any other part for that matter. Being able to print 3D parts on your classic cars is a great capability. That's all I have for today. Have a good one.